Well, that one was an absolute stomping at the hands of the Edmonton Oilers to the Minnesota Wild. 7-1 is the final. The Oilers picking up another victory. Good stuff there against the team that has given them nothing but fits in recent years. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show, live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate. We had a lovely time. Nice to see Big U, Cal in the Park, and VR Montenegro come out tonight on a cold Thursday. Lots of great prizes given away. Actually, Big U walked away with the Heritage Classic Oilers hoodie tonight and a nice $25 GC among the other fantastic prizes that Tony and the gang give out here at Boston Pizza Westgate. Of course, you can text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat. Tell us your thoughts on that stomping that the Oilers laid on the Wild. And then I'll also want to remind everyone that GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, out to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Let's bring in our game analyst, Joaquin Gage. Hernan Salas back at ESTHQ. He can hop on anytime he wants to, as we have a lot to discuss tonight. Of course, we highly recommend you share your thoughts with us via the text line as well as the inbox. Gage, you and I were talking off the air. All it takes for this team to wake up is for Hernan to basically verbally assault these players.
To some of these Oilers players, I was feeling it was unwarranted, Tommy. No. It was I think this game, if you'd sum it up in one word, I think you already said it, unexpected. That was I did not expect that type of dominance from the Edmonton Oilers. Look, maybe it's my brilliance too. We were discussing how the chip on the shoulder of the Edmonton Oilers going into Minnesota, not winning there. They established that they can win in that building quite well tonight. That's a good win. That's a really, really good win. Chasing Gustafsson in the third period. Nanso, you and I were talking about, excuse me, the importance of contributions from other players not named Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Darnell Nurse gets his, I believe it was 201st assist in the NHL. Was that correct, or point?
I can verify that for you in a heartbeat.
I think I heard Jack say something like that. And guys, I don't know if it was mentioned, but isn't this the seventh game where if an Edmonton Oiler gets in a fight, they win the hockey game? And that's what Emberson did.
Yeah, what a tilt, man. I didn't know he can chuck him like that, and he missed on a few haymakers there. If he connects, Buddy there in Minnesota is still probably sleeping. Hell of a game. I'd say top 2 game of the season right now, maybe their best one. I mean, they were great in every I know Minnesota got a power play goal, but it was the tail end, a weird deflection. Special teams was on point. 5-on-5, they were great. Offense, defensively. Calvin Pickard was dialed in, guys. And Tom, we were watching the game together in the second period, and I think we used the word, the team looks crisp. Like the passes were crisp. Yeah. Everything was on point. I think for the first time in the history of the postgame show that I've been a part of, I have nothing to complain about, guys. And again, what did I say in the pregame show? The Oilers are going to win. They were due. I didn't see 7-1, though. I have to be honest in that. Yep. In that sense, but what a performance. I mean, the big boys took it over early. Leon Draisaitl was fantastic in this game. Kapanen keeps making his claim that he's not going anywhere, guys. Another good game. Good to see Derek Ryan get off the Schneider. I know we were talking about when everybody's healthy, who's the odd man out, and Derek Ryan's name came up about. And I chirped Connor Brown today, and hey, man, it worked. He got a beautiful goal shorthanded. So, I mean, if you're an Oiler fan today, Nasty's on the Nasty chat, and if you're texting 780-218-9999, let's enjoy this. It's the first win since 2019. And you know what? No complaints tonight. Because there's really nothing to complain about, guys. And knock on wood, hopefully Bouchard's not too banged up. But didn't look good, guys. But hopefully it's nothing too serious. But if you're an Oiler fan, you got to be super stoked about this win. And not just that, guys. The way this team is playing in the last 5-6 games, man. They look like the Oilers from the playoffs, man.
They're starting to, that's for sure. The Oilers beating one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, Minnesota at 42 points. Only trails right now the Winnipeg Jets and tied with the Washington Capitals atop the league standings. By the way, you are right, Joaquin. That was point number or assist number 200 and 201 for Darnell Nurse tonight. So your ears did not deceive you. And I'll even throw in Podkolzin looked good tonight on a number of those shifts alongside Kasperi Kapanen and Leon Draisaitl. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. The Oilers win it 7-1 over the Minnesota Wild. They chase Philip Gustafsson. So let's get into the scoring summary. Of course, get into the nasty chat as well. Hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Also, I'm enjoying a delicious 6 o'clocker lager here at BP Westgate. They have it in can form. And you can get 4-packs at Sobeys and Safeway liquor stores right now for $12.99. All right, to the scoring summary we go. I'm going to need one of these sips because it's going to be a long one. All right.
Get comfortable,
yes,
Joaquin.
All right, here we go.
I'll be right back.
Sippy. Zach Hyman opens up the scoring at 6:59 on the power play from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid on the redirection in. Kasperi Kapanen on the nice feed from Draisaitl. Kapanen's third of the year, second as an Oiler. Podkolzin getting the secondary assist, his 6th of the season at 15:40 to make it 2-0. But the Wild would cut into that lead. Frederick Gaudreau, his 6th, like Hernan mentioned, late on that power play. Just 2 seconds left. Faber with the shot, Gaudreau with the redirection. Marcus Johansson with the secondary assist at 18:49. Oilers with a 2-1 lead going into the second period. Shots after one, 13-13. And in that second period, this is where the Oilers really took off. 1:55 in shorthanded. Connor Brown. This play, give Matthias Janmark a lot of credit. Started in his own zone. I think he had the nice little one-touch out to Emberson, followed it up. Also had the touch on the pass across from Emberson, gets to Brown, and he roofs it by Gustafsson, his 4th of the season. Good to see some depth scoring, some special team scoring. Give the Oilers 2 shorties on the year. Then at 12:54, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets his 5th goal of the season. He tucks it in on a nice feed from Leon Draisaitl. Evan Bouchard, the secondary assist, power play marker, as it makes the Oilers lead 4-1 at that point. Then at 15:54, I said to Jesse Pierce, are we expecting any weird goals to go in? And actually, Cal in the Park brought this up. He's like, Tommy, on the pregame show, you're talking about a weird Draisaitl goal. We got one. Draisaitl's 21st of the year when Bouchard passed up a breakaway, boys. Passed up a breakaway, but guess what? Brilliant genius, mad scientist, whatever you want to call it. Draisaitl kind of like fans on it. It bounces up, hits him, and goes past Gustafsson. Podkolzin the second assist. 5-1 Oilers at 15:54 to the third period. We go. Troy Stecher at 6:55, 2 goals in the last couple games for Stecher. His goal assisted by Darnell Nurse and Connor McDavid. And then Derek Ryan picking up his first goal of the season, first since February, I heard Jack say, at 17:26 to make it 7-1. Nurse and Brown, the helpers. So you get another multi-point game, this time from, Nurse had one, Brown had one, certainly McDavid, Bouchard, a bunch of guys having multi-point games. Emberson had himself a decent night with that fight. They kept talking about the Gordie Howe hat trick, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. Shots on goal, 35-30 in favor of Edmonton. Face-offs, 56-44% in favor of Edmonton. The power play, 2 for 4. The PK, 2 for 3. Hits, 23 for Minnesota, 8 for the Oilers. Block shots, 14 for Minnie, 11 for Edmonton. Giveaways officially 21 for the Wild, 14 for the Oilers, and both teams wind up with 3 takeaways. Text us 780-218-9999. Guys, is this a statement game, or is that too significant of a thing to say?
I'll say hell yeah, Tommy. I mean, just look at the who they beat, and listen, and I think the broadcast had said it well as well. Like, no excuses. Minnesota's still a good team. Yes, they're missing some key players, but so are the Oilers. So, but for me, it is like, I'll go back to the Colorado game, Vegas, Columbus, sure. St. Louis is okay, but then Tampa Bay, now Minnesota. You beat the team that's tied or in first place in the West, in the Central, guys. One of the best goaltenders in the league, top 2 when it comes to stats. This is a statement game because, guys, like this game wasn't close. I was telling VR and Big Uke at BP's, I said at 2-1, I said the Oilers get the next one, it's over, because the Oilers were playing that good, guys. Like I did not see Minnesota getting back in this game, especially if the Oilers bumped it up to a 2-goal lead. So I for me, this is a statement game. They're back, and hopefully they can go into Vegas and pick up another 2, because this team is rolling right now.
And Joaquin, they did it playing crisp, nice passes. That's something you have emphasized in the last 16 months that we've been on the air. And it's something that I look for every game, and they seem to be really, really sharp with the way they were moving the puck tonight.
And it was one of the things when things weren't going well for the Edmonton Oilers, is what Connor McDavid kind of, I believe, said in one of his interviews. He mentioned just we're not crisp, we're not assertive with the puck, and you're like, geez, I mean, he was operating at a pretty high level. The clip that him and Leon are going on right now, it's crazy. I think that I don't know. We talked about a little bit of the specialty teams tonight, and during the day, looking at Minnesota not having either a penalty kill was quite leaky, and that first power play goal, that McDavid just dancing at full speed, and that pass to Leon, scoring from the other side, a side where he usually doesn't score from. That's a pretty difficult play. And well, I guess Hyman actually scored that goal, but right there. And then Leon kind of does the same thing. You know, just a bull moose, has a guy on his back. They can't handle him, and then just such a sweet backhand pass that kind of set the tone for everything else. They didn't allow the Minnesota Wild to get comfortable in this game at all. You know, they couldn't muster things. I thought that their defensive structure, it just seemed like they were swarming on guys, like just these slight little triangle defenses of taking away options from the Minnesota Wild in the defensive zone. It was a masterful performance. Like that's one of those games, guys, that the coach takes a ton of clips out of that, right? To reinforce, show guys how what worked well against that team. And I like what you said, Nanso. Like the Minnesota Wild are missing some players, but the Edmonton Oilers are missing some players too. Hopefully that it doesn't it's okay with Bouchard, and it's just kind of a stinger, not something serious. Because really his game is light years from what it was at the beginning of the year as well.
Guys, is this their best game of the season? Like, what would compare to it? Colorado game, something earlier in the season?
We had this question come in after the game the other night against the Lightning. Obviously, the Oilers played a good, tight game. They won that one 2-1. I think this one surpasses it. They were very complete and thorough in that win against Pittsburgh. I know it's the Penguins, and they're not particularly strong, but the Oilers had a good win against the Canucks earlier in the year. Like, they've had some good games, and they've had some nice ones in this last stretch, but I think that's hands down the best game of the year. Gage, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I definitely do think it's their best game because of the way that the Minnesota Wild manhandled them back at home a few games ago, right? That was a kind of a beat down from them, and they returned the favor tonight. To see that building empty out early, which, you know, they're great hockey fans in Minnesota and knowledgeable, right?
Yes.
And you could kind of hear the angst of some fans with the play, but I think that was just because of the Oilers never they were all gas, no break tonight, guys. Like all the way through the end, all the way to that was a full 60 minutes. And I think, Tommy, you alluded to the game against Tampa, a really good game, and up to that point, arguably their best. But I think I would put this one ahead of it because I really thought that throughout the whole lineup, everyone did something tonight to contribute in that game. That's a good feeling going into a real important night's game.
And I joked with Hernan when he was here, how soon do we get a text in saying, but Minnesota is missing 3 of its best players. They had won 6 of their last 7 games with those guys being on the shelf. So it is something to remind people that this team is still clicking without three of their best players in Eriksson Ek, Zuccarello, and of course Jonas Brodin. And
I did see something.
That's
sorry, Tommy. I did see something in the Nast chat. I can't find it now, but I believe someone mentioned that Stuart Skinner looked really bad in warm up. So there is that.
Well played.
Hey,
very well played.
Can I just throw this in there? I thought Nurse and Kulak, when they played together tonight, looked awesome. They're reading each other so well right now. Kulak, Gage, you're gonna like this. He led all defensemen with 24-20 time on ice. Like, this guy's becoming an absolute. Now, Bouchard left late. I get it, but if you told me at the start of seeing Brett Kulak in some games would be in the top 2 or lead the Oilers in time on ice for defensemen, I would have told you, get out of here. Like, this guy's getting even better, Gager, with age. Like a fine wine, like a fine cab or a Pinot Noir.
And Nanzo, I did tell you this, but your hearing's so damn bad that you didn't hear it when I told you this.
Oh boy.
Guys, I just want to mention too, the Oilers get multi-point games from 6 players tonight. That's always key, and especially when you do it the way they did tonight, beat one of the best teams in the league so handily. I think that's a great indicator. Connor Brown, 2 points. Leon Draisaitl, 4 points. Vasily Podkolzin, 2 points. Connor McDavid, 2 points. Then you got Bouchard and Nurse on the back end getting you a couple of points each. All right. I did want to get to one other thing as well, talking about this one.
I just wanted to ask you guys before you get to that.
What?
The stat of 4-point game.
Oh, right.
Just with Leon Draisaitl, I mean, quite impressive, moving up the ladder. But then you look at the top. I believe it was 157 4-point games for Wayne Gretzky.
Not
and
bad.
I think Louis said something. He's going to have to play another 30 years to get close to that. But it's. I mean, again, a dominating performance. The Draisaitl goal, like, things are just they're happening for this guy right now.
Yeah.
Just that the off-speed floater that goes in. I mean, he's almost back at the bench when that thing goes in the net. It's just everything he's touching right now. It's really, really impressive how he's playing. He's really, not that I don't think anyone, like, we talk about him being one of the best players in the league. It's kind of nice to see a guy that signed, he signed his big deal, right? But there's no dip, he's still as focused and driven as ever to be the best, which is very encouraging, I think, for Edmonton Oilers fans.
Very well said, Joaquin. Okay, we're going to get to some text right away. First, though, we got to do the turning point of the game, brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance performance, we treat you like a pro, using the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game. And Hernan teased it a little bit when he was talking to Cal in the Park, Big Uke, and VR Montenegro here at BP Westgate. He said, boys, if they get that third goal, it's over. And that is your turning point of the game, because not only did it reestablish the multi-goal lead, it was a shorty, and it came at a critical time early in the second period. I think it gave the Oilers extra life, and it deflated the Minnesota Wild. Connor Brown's 4th goal, shorthanded at 1:55 from Janmark and Emberson. That is your turning point of the game. I will say that the Emberson fight with Loco was pretty good too, but I think just the fact that the Oilers buried one and reestablished that multi-point or multi-goal lead from Brown there was the turning point of the game, presented by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. How about Ty Emberson chucking the Nucks, guys? Like, that was unexpected and impressive at the same time.
Because he ate some too, man. Like, he took
and gave some,
shot. I said, towards the end, he threw a right haymaker, and he just missed, boys. But what I did like, Gager, was the uppercuts, man.
Oh, he missed with that. Would have been that would have been lights out. I think turn out the lights if one of those got through there. it's always interesting when you see a guy throw down for the first time, and if he's capable of doing it. I mean, if you were to ask any of us before the game if Ty Emberson is good at chucking him, we always said I probably not, but I don't know, guys. Let me ask you. I think that was his best game of the season so far. Like he was jumping in the play, jumping in the play on the PK as a defenseman, as a guy with over 50 games now. Like this is a guy that we were talking about. It's going to take time. There is a player there. I'm almost certain of it now. You can see the confidence building because in most cases, a young D-man on the penalty kill, he gets that puck out. He's changing at that point, right? But finishes up that play and gets a great assist on that goal.
That was his 3rd point of the season in his 27th game of the year and 57th overall of his career. Hernan, did you want to add to that?
No, I was just I think I said it on Tuesday night, guys, and Gage kind of left. I said, I just don't notice him, and that's a good thing. Like but today he was noticeable because he was jumping in, like Gage said, and obviously the fight and all that, but he's quietly going about his business and just playing solid. Now he's getting about that 12 to 14 minute mark, and that's fine for a young defenseman. He's just over 50 games now. He's really coming into his own, and I kind of like it. I like that the noise around him has quieted down, and just let him play, and there's not that much eyes or pressure on him, and like no one's talking about him, Tommy and Gage, and I think that's a good thing. Let him play his game, and then he's going to keep growing into that role. So, and like the new guy they brought in, they interviewed him today in the intermission. He's going to get into a game. I'll be honest with you guys. I know Stetch has a couple goals in the last 3 games or something. I don't want to see Emberson come out of the lineup though.
No.
I don't think you will.
Well, depending on how Bouchard, how that situation unfolds, you probably could. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it's not anything too serious.
Yeah. Well, if we get an update, we will pass that along your way. All right, 780-218-9999. Text us your thoughts, any questions or concerns, or you just want to praise the Oilers for their manhandling of the Minnesota Wild tonight. Lay it on us. We want to hear from you. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you already haven't to EST, and we'll get into the nasty chat too. Emberson, 3 assists plus or -4 on the year, 14 penalty minutes. Quietly growing and evolving and gaining more and more experience in the National Hockey League, and that's a good thing just fine right now. Let's go to the text line. Justin of Balgoni gets the first word. The Oilers' worst game and best game of the year came against Minnesota. Rip City Step says, I never doubted him. And then he also had scheduled loss memes sent in, but with the old guy going into the car and then pulling out a gun saying, but not for me. Well done, Rip City Step. Eden says, hey, boys, great win, but I am concerned about that hit on Bouchard late. Now, we didn't see it, right? We didn't see it, or did we?
Yeah. To me, really, it looked like Bouchard didn't expect Hartman to give him a little bump. I don't think it was vicious. I think, it was just he initiated contact. But then sometimes when that happens and you're not expecting it, you're all of a sudden you're trying to steady yourself, and he went into the post pretty hard there. But it looked I thought he hit his head at first, but then he popped up lame, and you could read Bouchard's lips on the bench. He was in obvious pain by the looks on his face. He says, "My knee," and so TD. Yeah, that's a little bit concerning. But usually he might have jarred something, or he tried to stable himself and just might have tweaked something a little bit. Hopefully it's not too serious. But it was one of those plays where he wasn't prepared for any type of contact there. This kind of puck was going behind the net, and he just didn't think Hartman was going to initiate that in front of the net like that.
And
Hartman plays tough hockey.
Nothing from Coach K yet, guys. So if I hear anything, I'll definitely let you guys know. And also keep in mind it was towards the end of the game, so they're probably like, just go to the room. Let's take a good look at this. There's no need to rush you back. It's 7-1. But as much as it's a roller coaster sometimes with Evan Bouchard, the Oilers would miss him dearly, especially on the power play. That seems like they're finding a bit of a groove here, guys.
Mm-hmm. Big Uke just walked out of here wearing his men's large Heritage Classic hoodie that he won. So good on Big Uke for picking up another W and wearing it out the door. Very well done here at Boston Pizza Westgate. All right, let's get to more of your reaction on the Oilers 7-1 victory tonight over the Minnesota Wild. The Oilers return home to begin a 5-game homestand Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock puck drop. We're on the air live from Hudson's Bourbon Street. It's going to be a busy Saturday, and we'll see if the Oilers can handle the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go to Calgary. Glenn says that is a statement victory tonight against one of the league's best teams. The way this team playing right now, the only team that can beat the Oilers are the Oilers, guys. Yeah, I like that statement.
That's a good one.
Well said. Yeah, Millwood's Matt says it came at the cost of Bouchard being hurt, though, it looks like. We'll see what the diagnosis is. And Hernan, you said no update from Chris Knoblauch?
No, not yet. He hasn't. At least there's no media of Coach Gage just yet. But as soon as I do, I'll pass on along that information.
Okay, here's a breakdown from Shaggy in St. Albert. Very thorough, as always. Shaggy says, I am hoping this is the game that we look back and say, we know they finally get it, and it's cruise control rest of the season. Winning in Mini, where they almost never win, and Wild at top of standings. Brown, Kapanen, Ryan, and Nuge chipped in. Hyman midseason form. McDavid just had 1 point, looked a little off. Draisaitl with a monster game. And a couple of lucky posts in third, but played almost full 60 minutes. If this was in Edmonton, Oilers fans would have started the wave at the midway point of the second period. Just hope Bouchard's okay. Shaggy, well played. McDavid, I think they gave him that second. They gave him 2 assists on the night. So, but a quiet 2 assists, sure. It is nice to see others step up in some depth scoring, especially in a game like that against Minnesota. And you know, we've said it a bunch of times already, but really, you beat one of the best teams in the league, and you pounded them into submission. So that is worth noting for sure. Mary texting in. Mary says, okay, now y'all need a Derek Ryan goal song. Remember when he played at U of A and we would all cheer Derek Ryan? Derek Ryan. That's me, Twitter Mary, by the way. I may have put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Derek Ryan. So going all the way back to the U of A Golden Bears days. Mike at Thunder Bay says, I did not think the Oilers were going to win tonight. I extra did not expect them to blow out the Wild. I never thought I would live to see the day. That is Edmonton's first win in Mini since February 7th, 2019. Just their 8th since 2007. It has not been fruitful sledding in Minnesota. Edmonton now 8-22-4 against the Wild since. Oh, I had it. I do have it here. Where is that? Yeah, since the 07-08 season, they hadn't won in Minnesota, or they had their butts kicked in Mini really bad since the 06-07 season. That's where it really turned. And I gave you all the credit in the world, Joaquin, because I think you're the first Oiler goalie to go into Minnesota and win a game.
Yes.
That's your record somewhere in the pages of the Oilers history books.
Who were you playing against at those times, Gage? Do you remember an opposing player?
Let's see.
I can look it up.
Well, I remember because Scott Pellerin got a penalty shot.
Okay.
Let's see who. Well, Manny Fernandez and Jamie McLennan were the other goalies. Darby Hendrickson, I believe, played for the Wild then. Who else? I'd have to if I see a picture, I would
have
know,
it.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
There's a few there. You know what was really I think a key part of the game too, guys. And I know in the third period you're coming out. It's 5-1.
Yeah.
The Wild get a penalty or get a power play They get a couple good looks. Looks like, if they get one, who knows, right? And then but what do the Edmonton Oilers do? Right when that power play ends, they go back down, score, and you could just see it. They'd let the air out of the whole building. Even the building kind of, maybe something can happen here, but they just squashed all hopes and dreams. Spirit crushing after that initial power play. Great job. That's what you want from like your team. Veteran teams know that, okay, they're pushing back even though it's 5-1. Let's put this thing to bed, right? They had their foot on the throat and then they just killed it right there. I loved what I saw from there. They didn't allow the Wild to kind of sneak back into this game and feel good about themselves or what have you and end up with whatever 5-3 or 6-3, right?
Right.
It was just total domination for 60 minutes.
Okay, Joaquin, I do have the game summary from that night in Minnesota at XL Energy Center, October 15th, 2000. Ready for this?
I'm ready. Lay it on.
All right. You guys did win 5-3. You guys did improve to 4-1-1. Minnesota was seeking its first victory ever. Fell to 0-4-1. You got scored on at the 5:30 mark on a Wild power play. Lubomir Sekerash from Scott Pellerin and Marian Gaborik on a Doug Waite penalty. He took an interference penalty 2 minutes.
I think it was offensive zone too. Bad penalty, Doug.
Yeah, 3:46. You would respond, the Oilers did, shorthanded not long after by Mike Greer from Todd Marchant to make it 1-1 on a Bill Guerin high sticking penalty at 5:45. But the Wild would retake the lead before the period was up at 10-11. Maxim Sushinsky from Stacey Roast and Cam Stewart gave the Wild a 2-1 lead going into the middle frame. That's where the Oilers really took it to the Wild, and Joaquin buckled down. Yanni Nienema at 3:22 from Doug Waite and Bill Guerin on the power play on a Jimmy Dowd penalty for boarding. Then Maxim Shusinski, second of the night. How did he beat you, Gage?
Some guys just have your number, Tommy.
Who is this guy? At 3:46, would make it 2-2. Ryan Smith on the power play from Tom Poti and Yanni Nienema would restore the lead at 8:53. And then Dougie Waite, his second of the year, at 16:33 from Ryan Smith and Bill Guerin. That line was so much, just an absolute wagon at that point. They were on fire, and then they traded Bill Guerin, Francis Carter. That sucked. Daniel Cleary at 1:29 of the third period from Mike, or was it Michelle Reason or Michael Reason?
Michelle Reason, yeah.
Yeah, and Brian Swanson.
The Swiss Miss.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Swiss Miss.
Gager,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Gager finished with, I believe, 25 saves on the night for the win.
That Maxim Shushinsky, I remember, he was a pretty good player, but he did not like being in North America. He only played a little bit in Minnesota and went back to Russia. I always remember that. He was pretty damn good.
He liked playing against me.
Did he score on you in Europe too?
He might have, probably. No, I don't know. I can't. Very skilled player. If he would have stayed, probably would have been in the Hall of Fame, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, I mean, Sushinsky, sure, but how did Sekerash score on you?
It was probably just after the third or fourth rebound, Tommy. I don't know. I wasn't.
All right. It's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. The Oilers win 7-1 over the Minnesota Wild as we celebrate the Oilers' first ever victory in Minnesota back on October 15th, 2000. Our own Joaquin Gage between the pipes for the Oil that night. Let's go to Mac Lamec, who texts in and says, the Oilers are back. Tube Socks says, he just likes the win, sent us an emoji. Troll says, the Kucherov and Lightning combo kicking the Flames tonight, 6 points. Wow. And then let's see, Twitter Mary with another one says, last 5 minutes of the game, there were like 5 people left in the stands. You had to bring back Gager's past trauma. Twitter Mary, no, that was a night to celebrate.
Yeah, they won.
That was good. Yeah.
It was
fun.
Yeah. CMAC texting and says, confidence is huge. This whole team is confident right now. Fans talk about the year the Avs won and how confident they looked in games. I see this Oilers team looking very confident right now. Joaquin, just a thought on that maybe?
Yeah, it's confidence builds. It's nice to see not only just a few guys have it. I think that's like, I'm just going to single out the Derek Ryan goal. That's a very skilled play and a tip, right? That's a redirection right the other way. No chance for Marc-Andre Fleury to stop that one. I think the Connor Brown goal, that was a nice.
Yep.
He put that away nice. A lot of times he's testing out the durability of a lot of goaltenders' sternums. This time he actually picked his spot and put it there, which is good. So there's some guys. The Oilers are going to have some interesting decisions coming up here when guys get healthy, right? Do they get back into the lineup here? Because I understand it, but if you're rolling especially like this, man, that's hard to change a winning lineup. Especially going into that building. But I mean, you're only as good as your last game, right? So Saturday afternoon, that's and the other test. I believe it's the third level of the candy cane forest, Tommy, where they got to go through the Vegas Golden Knights here. So it's another huge challenge.
And those buggers won today 3-2 in overtime. Barbashev with the OT winner.
Yeah. Against a good Jets team. So
yeah, exactly.
This is great. I like this. I would rather watch these games than no disrespect, but the Oilers playing like the San Jose Sharks, where you're kind of like they should win this game. And if it's close, you're like, really? They should be able to dominate those teams. You're not going to be at your best every night, but I think it's a lot easier to get up and to watch when they're playing against the top competition in the NHL. And Saturday afternoon is going to be I want to see them assert themselves on the offensive side against the Vegas Golden Knights a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
You saw tonight, they were in the tough areas, like Hyman in front on the Stetcher goal, they were causing havoc, right? They were getting to those places. They weren't. Vegas does a really good job of boxing out. I want to see how they respond to that decor and how tough it is to play against them and win some more of those battles than we saw the last game.
Guys, we have some audio. I have Emberson, Hyman, or head coach Chris Knoblauch. Who would you like to go with?
I'll let Gage pick.
Let's go with Hyman.
All right, here's Zachary Martin Hyman, post-game in Minnesota.
Right, some history. You haven't recorded a win here since 2019 against the Wild. What did you think about what your team came up with tonight?
Yeah, obviously it hasn't been the friendliest place to play for us, but we've been playing some really good hockey of late, so good to carry that into tonight and play probably one of our most complete games for 60 minutes against I think the team had the best record in the league, and a really good defensive team.
Between the power play tonight and then the penalty kill adds a shorthanded marker, what can you say about what's clicking, I guess, with both special teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in our locker room is pretty confident that it was going to turn. It's a long season. Obviously, we didn't get off to the greatest start on both ends. But, I mean, we have a history of being pretty good on the special teams. So it's good to get it sorted and find some consistency and hopefully carry it forward.
Minnesota is a team that can finish and can find the back of the net. Tonight, Calvin Pickard made sure that didn't really happen. What can you say about how he played?
Yeah, just solid. I mean, just key saves at key moments there. Made all the saves that you'd want him to make and then some, so just gave us a chance to win.
As you had mentioned, it's a big win. You guys are continuing to find momentum. How nice is it to build off this with Minnesota being the top team in the league?
Yeah, obviously they're missing some key pieces too, so aware of that, but it's still been an unbelievable team for the start of the season, and like we said, we've had a history of not playing well in this building, and it was nice to find our game and be able to play it for a full 60.
Did you realize you'd scored on the
yeah
for a full period?
Yeah, well, it's one of those where you're standing. That's like my spot, standing backside, and then I turn and he shoots it, and you feel it, but you're kind of like, and then Leon was the first to say it's yours. And I was like, hey, well, yeah, I mean, it didn't matter, but so.
The NHL leader doesn't mind giving one up.
No, I mean, karma, he got a good one back, right? With good karma for him, obviously. But, I mean, I think he's been playing unbelievable. Both ends of the ice. I think he's not getting enough credit for what he's doing on the other end. Obviously, scoring lots of goals and making plays, but defensively he's been unbelievable.
I believe I referred to Draisaitl's assist on Hyman's goal as a nice feed. That was facetious, of course. I wonder if anyone caught that. But anyway, yeah, Hyman pretty straight up about beating Minnesota. He's the one that brought up that 3 of their best players are out, and then joking about hockey karma and all of that. But really good points, and it feels like it, albeit the puck went off his stick. It was really Leon Draisaitl that buried that thing, but it looks like he's starting to round into form here, guys, and sounds like a confident guy that's playing on a good team that's full of confidence itself. Like, just reading that whole availability from him there, I'm like, this is a team that's in a good spot. Like, the way his body language and the way he was speaking indicated, to me at least. I don't know what you guys thought from that.
How can you not like Hyman, man? Like, he's just a beauty, man. And
he's a good guy.
Effort. Yeah. And there's a couple of shifts there. I remember one in the second where he just went up the wing there, and he's just not going to be stopped, guys. Like, he just wills his way to positions and gets the puck in deep. Zach Hyman's awesome, and then that's why it kind of sucked to start the season, because you saw how much he was trying to get his game going. It just wasn't going his way, and a lot of guys started slow. But it's great to see him return to form, and man, he's been better since his return from injury, guys, than he was even prior to it. And probably 15 less games. Like, he's been Zach Hyman that we've known here for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. It's funny how. I mean, even for an older, experienced consistent NHL player, that even they need a reset at times, And I know he was a little bit banged up, but I believe he did go on that road trip, that 3-game road trip, and didn't play until the game in Vegas. And just being around the guys, watching games from the press box and things like this is kind of looking, okay, well, maybe I do have more time in these types of situations, just getting a different perspective. Because, yeah, Nanso, I completely agree with you. He's back to the old Hyman, and maybe that's what it took, right? Just to, I love how he refers to, that's my spot. Like, what do you think? You shoot the puck from there, it's probably going to hit me and go in. So don't come close to my spot, I guess is what he's telling Leon. But what is it? 5 goals in 4 games for Hyman, I believe. Or
he's
something
been much better lately. Yeah,
and,
I can confirm that.
And scoring goals like those Zach Hyman goals. You said even the tone of his voice is it's that confidence that he has, I think, and he's just such a key player for this team.
Yeah, 4 goals in his last 4 games. He had 2 against Columbus, 1 against St. Louis, nothing against Tampa, and then he gets 1 tonight. So looking much better as he returns to form. Hyman does tonight. He picks up the goal, and he also had 18:42 time on ice and 3 shots, 1 hit, 2 giveaways for Zach Hyman. You want to go to Emberson, Nanso?
Sure. Let's go to the enforcer on the Oilers, Ty Emberson.
Just a quick thought on what you saw from your team.
I thought it was good. I think we started well, and we kind of just kept the foot on the gas pedal. There's no let up. There's no lapses in our defensive play. So I think that's something we can build on.
You mentioned the start. You mentioned that, or you made sure that the energy was high with that tilt. How did that kind of come about? How did that transpire?
It was just a face-off, and he asked if I wanted to go, and I said sure. So there wasn't a whole lot behind it. It was more just making sure that the energy was there in the building, and it was making sure that we were gonna keep the energy up.
A fight for you and an assist. What can you say about kind of where your game is at, and especially how you delivered tonight?
I think it's in a good spot right now. I think just as the season has gone on, I've built some confidence up in finding ways to contribute, whether it's on the PK or just playing hard 5-on-5. So I think it's in a good spot, and just trying to keep building on that.
Quite the bout. Looks like you got a little left over there for you as well.
Yeah. I was gonna say he got some in. I think I got some in. So I don't know if I did, but it was a good fight.
I learned that you had some family in the building. How special is it to have a night like you did in front of them?
It's exciting. Obviously, this is a rink that I grew up coming to when I was a little kid, so it's fun to be able to play a game in it and have all my family and friends in the stands.
Yeah, and then get in a fight too. And he just asked me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll fight him. Whatever." I like that
because it looked like they were like mad at each other from the last game or something.
I know, chucking bombs, man. The uppercuts, like you said earlier, were impressive.
I wonder if he, as a kid, he came to one of my games. Probably did.
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Maybe he was there on October 15th, 2000, to witness the glory of Joaquin Gage.
Oh, that's sad. If he said he was a kid, Jesus.
Hey guys, just on a
He's
side
only
note,
24.
Yeah.
You would have been just born.
That's true.
Go ahead, Hernan.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I just wanted to side note, Calgary got whooped 8-3. Nikita Kucherov, 6 points on the night, guys. 6 points.
He's good.
The Oilers sent them in there a little bit angry.
Well, especially Cooch.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is like, I don't know if they're falling off the wheels in Calgary, but it's starting to go to where we expected it to, right? Like, people are like, Calgary, they're going to surprise you. No, they're not. They're going to do this. And here we are watching them fall apart, albeit a Tampa team that's got more depth than they do, better goaltending, certainly. And they beat the wheels off the Calgary Flames tonight. Did you say, Hernan, we had one more audio clip?
Yeah, we have Coach.
Okay, let's run that, and then we'll get Joaquin's final thoughts, and then you and I have a few minutes to wind her down.
Here's head coach Chris Knoblauch.
Housekeeping, wondering if you have an update on Evan Bouchard.
No, I don't. Obviously, we're going to fly home, get checked out. Hopefully it's something minor, but probably won't be able to tell till tomorrow.
Your team rewrote some history tonight in the fact that you guys haven't recorded a win here since 2019, but tonight's the opposite case. What did you think about what you saw from your group and how you guys came out?
I think we were very motivated to play a good hockey team, first in the NHL, and been playing really well and not giving very much up. I think we've been playing some good hockey lately, and I think right through our lineup, I think everyone gave us a really good game. And any time that Minnesota had some opportunities to get back in the game, I think Picks came up some big key saves.
As a coach, when you do see your team rising up to the occasion, like playing the Minnesota Wild, what kind of confidence does that, give you and the entire group?
Well, anytime you're playing the best, you always want to elevate your game, and it's a good test to see where you stack up. And and if you're not ready for playing against a good team, then you end up looking silly most times. So I don't know. I just like the effort from everybody.
So they don't give up a whole lot. Leon still find some space.
Leon was really good. I think of all our players who really stood out tonight, like I can't say that anybody had an off game. Everyone was really good, but Leon really was at another level. His two line mates really helped out, and Puckholes and Kapanen, those three have been playing well, but Leon last week or so has really been on top of his game.
All right, Chris Knoblauch not providing an update on Evan Bouchard. I want to say one thing, and good on Paige Martin, who's excellent, by the way, over there at Oilers TV, is he did 100%. I guarantee you he's getting an update either on the plane or did get a quick one from TD for us. That's just strategy.
You're never going to
smart.
You're never going to get the truth, right? Not right after the game.
I'm trying to remember. I think the coach's room in the dressing room in Minnesota, it's off to it's through the training area, right? So when he comes off the ice, he goes towards the coach's room. He'll pass Bouchard in the training room. And then he'll say, "How you doing?" That's usually what every head coach is. You do pass right past it. And so he would get a little bit of an idea. But that's what they call in the gamesmanship. I think that's what they call it in the biz, Tommy. But he has a better idea of the status of Evan Bouchard than he alluded to right there.
Minnie's at one because you go down right from the bench, and then on the right is the change room, and then the medical and the coach's room, and then is the locker room. And I think the locker room just has like an equipment, a little equipment cubby and then basically the bathroom in the back. That's essentially it from what I recall. So good point, Gage. Your good memory after, picking up the first Oilers victory in Minnesota ever against the Wild.
It's burned into my memory, that place, Tommy.
Mine too now. Mine too. All right. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas with you on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. 7-1 Oilers victory tonight. You got to like it. You can still share your thoughts with us, 780-218-9999, and then get into the nasty chat. We're going to get Joaquin's thoughts going into Saturday's matinee matchup against the Vegas Golden Knights, a team that's been playing really well and has been a thorn in the side of the Oilers, obviously, for some time. Gage, what has to happen on Saturday afternoon for the Oil to get that win?
Same type of attitude, I think. That we always talk about how you get motivated for games. I just think not having won against the Wild, the way that the last game they played against the Wild turned out, there was a lot of extra motivation. The Oilers, in the back of the mind, knew if they didn't bring their A game, there was a good chance that they wouldn't be able to come out with 2 points here. Same thing going into Saturday. This is a team that you've lost to twice. When you look at the 4 points, that's a huge difference in the Pacific, where they could be challenging for first at this point. Mm-hmm. And you got to establish winning against this team. These two games I mentioned on our show today that the possibilities of meeting these teams after game 82 are quite good. Getting that confidence, that knowing that you can beat these teams is important at any time of the year. So not only just getting more competitive for getting home ice in the first couple rounds, trying to lock down that first spot in the Pacific, I think is really important. But there's also a lot of other factors that can really motivate the Oilers here. But they're rolling. They're a very difficult team to play against when you get contributions like Coach Knoblauch said from throughout the whole lineup. Like he just said it. I don't think anyone had an off game. And when you have your superstars, even at the other level, it makes it quite difficult. It's going to be another really hard, difficult game. Probably the hardest out of the last 3 against Tampa and, of course, this Wild team.
Joaquin, just like you did on October 15th, 2000, you were absolutely clutch on this show and led to a solid night, not only for your Oilers back then, but our EST crew on the GCL Diesel postgame show. Thank you so much, Gager. Excellent work as always, my friend. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Can't wait.
There you go. Joaquin Gage, our game analyst. Awesome stuff from him. And yes, indeed, he was the first Oiler goalie to beat the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota back on October 15th, 2000. I knew because he and I had talked about it a few months ago, and he mentioned beating the Wild back in the day because we were joking about how bad the Oilers are in in general, right? And Gage was like, well, I beat them early on and happened to be the first year the Wild were in the league and very early on in their existence. They still didn't have a victory at that point. So a little bit of Oilers history going back 24 years. Hernan, anything awesome from you?
That is awesome. No, it's been a really nice and pleasant, nasty chat and inbox. Everybody seems to be very happy. Not a lot of, barely any complaints, to be honest with you, Tom. I mean, I said it off the hop. I mean, you can always find something, and this game is becoming incredibly difficult to find something that went wrong for the Oilers.
No, you're right.
You look at the goalie gains, and you take that one. It is what it is. It was just late. It's just a shot on net that gets deflected there by I think Gaudreau got it. He got credit for the goal. So yeah, I think you got to be happy with the Edmonton Oilers. Now the big question heading into the weekend is the status of Evan Bouchard. They're probably flying back tonight, Tom? Yeah,
they definitely are.
So they'll fly back tonight. They probably won't skate tomorrow, so we probably won't have an update till Saturday morning due to the early game as well. So, I mean, they did pick up the new fellow there from Boston, Alec
Regula.
And he might have to draw in here, and that's big shoes to fill. Obviously, he's not going to play the minutes Bouchard does, but I'm intrigued, Tom, to see, and we're going to break it down tomorrow on all the shows, but if Bouchard is out, what do you do with the defense pairings? That's what I'm most intrigued about heading heading forward, because we haven't seen this. We haven't seen Ekholm or Bouchard miss many games. We saw Ekholm miss one game early last season, and that was it. And they lost 8-1 to Vancouver, and then he came back. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens if Bouchard's out for, whatever, even if it's one game, what Chris Knoblauch does with these pairings.
They're probably going to fly back tonight, Hernan. This is my guess, because they took yesterday as a travel day. Obviously, they didn't skate. They're probably going to fly back tonight. They'll gain an hour, and they'll have a later practice tomorrow, because they're not going to skate on Saturday morning, obviously. So I think that's what we're going to see, and then maybe we get an update. We should get an update on Bouchard. But yeah, it's kind of a weird with the afternoon starts, and this team generally takes it easy, gives itself time to rest and recover. But I think we'll probably either see an optional tomorrow or just a really quick light skate. But I think they're going to be around the rink for sure, and we should be able to get an update. If I'm wrong and you're right, that's the way she goes.
Yeah,
it is what it goes. It is what it is. All right, I saw a few texts that I wanted to get to. Barbershop Window had mentioned that this is via the Nasty Chat. Remember in October when people were saying the Oilers are old and slow, and it's over. Ha 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 ha. Says Barbershop Window. Yeah, that's fair. Fair point. And then what else do we got? Coach Mike says Oilers blow at the Wild, and the new Naughty Dog game has been revealed. That's a great night. Which Naughty Dog game was that? I don't know. Do you know off the top of your head?
No.
I didn't catch it. Naughty Dog's good. They do. What did they do? Last of Us? I think they did Last of Us, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's go to Greg the Sound Guy. Says, I find myself saying this a lot lately, but another nice, mature game. Bring this type of game, be it a 2-1 win or a 7-1. They look calm and in control for the entire 60. Thanks, guys. Hell of a win. Greg, the Sound Guy. And then Herney says, what was the poster behind Gager's head? That was his roast of Joaquin Gage poster, which was a fun night. A lot of fun that night. All right, Nan, so we need to get to some business here, and that is the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community-driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city, so check him out. DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Hernan, who is our player of the game?
Man, you could pick the whole team, Tom, if you could, right? Because they were all excellent on the night. A lot of solid performances. Not one that I can point out and be that I'm upset with. But, I mean, how can you ignore Leon Draisaitl's night? I thought he was a force all night. The setup to the Kapanen goal was just fantastic. He went full, I was going to say full McDavid, but Draisaitl's his own man, and he's a superstar as well. But 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points, +2 on the night. He had 5 shots on net. I thought Leon was around it all night, and he had an excellent, excellent game, doing what he always does and leading this team to another victory. So Leon Draisaitl is the Damon Bunting Player of the Game.
Really lucky goal, but Banks went in off of Zach Hyman as well. A couple nice assists, but a good night for Draisaitl. Continues to have a very, very strong season. Dash over at Heavy Hockey in the Nasty Chat says, a very pleasant Nasty Chat seems like it's an oxymoron, but I'm not sure. Good point, Dash. Good to hear from you. And then Free Beers says, that location, BP Westgate, gets really busy, so weird to see it so quiet. It was busier tonight, but Hernan, you were here, and like you said, it was a super cold night. It was Thursday Night Football. We had a lot of great giveaways, and the people that were here brought the vibes, and a bunch of nasties showed up. Cal in the Park, Big Uke, and VR Montenegro, and they walked away with some GCs, and Big Uke slipped into a men's large Heritage Classic hoodie. And if you don't know Big Uke, that's pretty damn impressive, because Big Uke lives up to the name for sure. All right, a couple more texts, and then we'll say goodnight. What do we have? Troll was asking about Gager. What we thought of Pickard. We got that from him. We thought he was really good, and that goal against we're not blaming him at all. He made some big saves, got some posts. Got to be good to be lucky, and lucky to be good. Pickard standing tall for the Oilers. We fully anticipate Stu Skinner getting the nod Saturday afternoon. Coach Mike says Intergalactic, the heretic prophet sci-fi game from Naughty Dog. Thank you, Coach Mike. Nanso, some final thoughts.
Yeah, great game. Probably I'm going to say it, their best game of the season. It was a very impressive win in a barn they don't have a lot of success in. So it's great to see. And now on to Vegas, another tough matchup. This is the toughest stretch of the season so far for the Edmonton Oilers. And we'll wait word on Evan Bouchard. I think that's the big story, the second big story, because the big story is how dominant the Oilers look tonight. Second biggest story, the injury to Evan Bouchard, Tom.
All right, 7-1, the Oilers win it over the Minnesota Wild. That's a huge win in so many ways, and they'll look to repeat that or just get back into the win column on Saturday against the very good Vegas Golden Knights team. That'll do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show live at Boston Pizza Westgate. We had a great time here, lots of fantastic giveaways. Good crew at BP Westgate. Big thank you to Tony, Curtis, Marasia, Shay, the entire staff here. Absolutely tremendous. We're live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street Saturday afternoon as the Oilers kick off a 5-game homestand against the Vegas Golden Knights. For Joaquin, Gage, and Hernan Salas, I'm Tom Gazzola saying have a great night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.